Valuematics Australia. Definition of ready, DoR, and definition of done, DoD. The definition of ready is a set of agreements that lets everyone know when something is ready to begin, e.g., when a user story is ready to be taken into a sprint, or when all necessary conditions are right for a team to start a sprint. An appropriate definition of ready will substantially improve the Scrum team's chance of successfully meeting its sprint goal. Here is a list of benefits that a properly structured DoR can bring to teams. Measure a backlog items, ready, state. Ensure that product backlog items have been thought through, just enough. Help the team identify when the product owner or another team member becomes overwhelmed. Keep the team accountable to each other. Reduce pressure on the team to commit to estimates before stories are ready. Reduce requirements churn in development. Example, definition of ready for a sprint. Different teams will have different definition of ready, and some require less. I.e., some teams just describe the value to the user, prioritize, and write how to demo. Other estimates and communication are in the sprint planning meeting and etc. Here is the sample items to be considered for developing DoRs for your team. The sprint backlog is prioritized. The sprint backlog contains all defects, user stories and other work that the team is committing to. No hidden work. All team members have calculated their capacity for the sprint. Full time on project equals X hours per day. All user stories meet definition of ready. Example, definition of ready for a user story. This section shows a sample definition of ready for a user story, and a sample definition of ready for a sprint. You can adopt some of these as baselines or starting points. The value of story to the user is clearly indicated. The acceptance criteria for story have been clearly described. User story dependencies identified. User story sized by delivery team. Scrum team accepts user experience artifacts. Common items considered for a definition of ready. 1. Actionable. Is the item immediately actionable, doable, by the team? Do the team know what they need to do, and can they do it now? Is the item free from external dependencies? 2. Refined. Has the item been through a process of refinement before sprint planning? Is there a common understanding amongst the team on what the item is and how it will be implemented? 3. Value. What is the business value of the item? What is the value to the end user? Is the value clear to everyone on the team? 4. Estimated. Has the item been estimated by the team? And, is the item agreed to be of a size that the team are comfortable can be completed within a sprint? 5. Acceptance criteria. Has the item got clear acceptance criteria? 6. Demo. Do the team understand how they might demo the item or discuss it in the sprint review once complete? What is definition of done in Agile? The Agile definition of done is a collection of criteria that must be completed for a project to be considered done. It is essentially a checklist used by Scrum teams to create a shared understanding of what is required to make a product releasable. To fully understand the definition of done in the context of Scrum, we must first outline two of the key elements in Agile project management. Product backlog item. This is a specific improvement that is made to a product. Items can include bug fixes, user stories, and specifications. Product increment. This is what is produced at the end of a short development period or sprint. It combines all the product backlog items completed during this sprint. In specific terms, the Scrum definition of done is a list of conditions that must be met to successfully mark a product increment as complete. What are the benefits of the Agile definition of done? Implementing the Agile definition of done offers some key advantages, which coincide with the 3 pillars of Scrum. Transparency. Everyone on the Scrum team has a clear understanding of what constitutes done. This eliminates confusion and potential clashes of opinion because there is a predefined set of rules for what the product should look like when complete. Inspection. This stage is carried out by every team member throughout the sprint, so issues can be spotted early and addressed quickly. The team can also share the product with customers for testing purposes to gather feedback and ensure their needs are being met. Adaptation. After the inspection stage, improvements can be made to reach the definition of done in Scrum. These adaptations will ensure higher quality in the finished product, potentially increasing ROI and boosting customer satisfaction. Definition of done. Agile example. In Agile project management, the definition of done is often employed when Scrum teams are creating a software product. Take the launch of a new mobile app as an example. Here, the definition of done in Agile could incorporate the following deliverables. Code has been written, code has been reviewed, build has been deployed for testing on mobile devices, tests have passed, Google has approved the app for accessibility. Number 1. Definition of done checklist for a user story. First and the most basic level is a single user story, where we check compliance with the initial assumptions of a single backlog item, which were described in it. On this stage, we also control the quality of written code and check if all necessary elements of our process were carried out, e.g. QA session or tests in the test environment. 1. Produced code for presumed functionalities. 2. Produced code for presumed functionalities. 3. Assumptions of US met. 4. Project builds without errors. 5. Unit tests written and passing. 6. Project deployed on the test environment identical to production platform. 7. Tests on devices, browsers listed in the project assumptions passed. 8. QA, quality assurance, session performed. 9. Issues from QA session resolved. 10. Refactoring completed. 11. Any configuration or build changes documented. 12. Documentation updated, if exists. 13. PCR, peer code review, performed. Number 2. Definition a done checklist for sprint. The second stage, which we decided to control, is sprint, where we check the greater part of our work. Here we can see if all the implemented features fulfill their original assumptions and if all the required conditions for the production deployment were met. 1. DoD of the US is met for each single US included in the sprint. 2. All, to do, in the code completed. 3. All unit tests passing. 4. Product backlog updated. 5. Project deployed on the test environment identical to production platform. 6. Tests on devices, browsers listed in documentation passed. 7. Tests of backward compatibility passed. 8. The performance tests passed. 9. All bugs fixed. 10. Sprint marked as ready for the production deployment by the product owner.